Let's talk about the seasonality of Chicago real estate market. If you know that you're in the position where you need to move next year, whether you need to move in the spring, in the summer, or in the fall, you might want to listen to what I got to tell you. Just the way Chicago has 4 seasons, the real estate market in Chicago kind of follows the same pattern. So let's start with spring market. Spring market is considered to be the hottest time of the year in terms of the real estate market. But let me ask you a question. What is the spring market? The spring market actually starts in January, because when you're going on the contract in January, you're closing either in February or actually in March. People who need to buy something in the spring market are actually looking early in the beginning of the year. Spring market is characterized by higher competition. Many people are trying to find a place before the lease expires, bidding wars. There will be more buyers to buy one property. Increased inventory levels, which is great because sellers know that spring market is good time to list. So we typically do see higher levels of inventory. However, the prices and the competition that you're gonna face will be pretty fierce. With that being said, we're moving into the beginning of summer. May, June are typically still hot months in terms of the real estate market. Once we get closer to July and August, the real estate market typically slows down, and that's the reason for it is because Chicago as the city becomes more hot. People start going out to get drinks, people start going on vacation. So the market slows down because people tend to focus on enjoying their lives. Once we get over August and we head into the fall market, and once Chicago starts cooling down in terms of the weather, we typically see buyer activity increase. People are done with their vacationing, they're done spending money on entertainment and stuff, and we're going back to the market. So after the Labor Day weekend, we typically see an increase in inventory. The buyer activity picks up as well. It is not as crazy as it is in the spring, just because the majority of people have their leases expiring before the summer, but people can sell in the fall and buy in the fall because there's less competition. Prices stabilize, multiple offers can still happen, but it is typically a more balanced, more manageable time to buy a property. Once we start getting closer to the winter time, and specifically once we get closer to November, all people have on their minds is Thanksgiving and Christmas. What happens then is we start seeing better deals because sellers become more desperate, they become more open to negotiate and to maybe entertain your contingencies and concessions. If your goal is to buy and get a good deal, wintertime is a perfect time to look for a house. If you're looking to buy a property, and we're talking just for yourself to live in, you should be starting about 6 months in advance to the date that your lease expires. We need time to first educate you on what the real estate transaction looks like. We need time to go tour places, see what is selling for how much. Once we're getting closer to the time you need to make the move, then we're able to make an offer. You feel more confident, you feel like there's no longer FOMO, and you're willing to jump on the right place when you see it. These are some things to consider when you're starting a home search. Think about the seasonality, think about your particular situation in terms of how soon you need to make your move. Is it possible to start looking and find something and go under contract in 2-3 weeks? Absolutely, but let me remind you that we still do not have a ton of inventory on the market. You need more time to be successful and not feel like you either missed out or had to buy because your lease was up in 30 days and not because you really like that place. So that's my spiel on the seasonality of the real estate market. If you have any questions about what I just covered or any other real estate questions, leave me a comment, send me a DM, like and subscribe, and we'll talk more in the next videos.